What if I told you that 90% of the decisions you make today aren't actually decisions at all? They're shortcuts. Fast, automatic, invisible shortcuts your brain takes without you even noticing. And in the next 30 minutes, we're going to break every single one of them down so you can finally start thinking clearly and stop making decisions you regret later. Hey, welcome back. Think about this for a second. What was the biggest decision you've ever made? Choosing a career, staying in a relationship or ending one, investing your savings, or making a tough call during a heated argument? Now here's the real question. When you made that decision, did you actually think it through? Or did your brain just grab the fastest, most comfortable answer it could find? This audiobook, Improving Your Critical Thinking Skills, Think Smarter and Make Better Decisions, is exactly about that. It's about understanding how your mind actually works, why it constantly nudges you toward bad decisions without you realizing it, and most importantly, how to break that pattern and become a sharper, clearer, more rational thinker. Today we're going to cover what critical thinking really means, how your brain deceives you through cognitive biases, the mental models that the smartest people in the world use to make decisions, and a practical, step-by-step framework you can start using in your life starting today. So if you've ever felt confused about making the right choice or made an emotional decision you later regretted, this episode is for you. Stick around till the end, because I'll share a technique that can upgrade your thinking in under 60 seconds. Let's get into it. What is critical thinking, really? Let's start by busting a myth. Critical thinking doesn't mean criticizing everything or arguing with everyone you meet. The real meaning of critical thinking is this: questioning your own thoughts. Here's how it works. Every time we face a situation, our brain instantly generates an answer. That answer is fast, it's comfortable, but it isn't always correct. Critical thinking is the skill of pausing that instant response and asking, is this actually true, or does it just feel true? Where did this belief even come from? Is there another explanation I haven't considered? Psychologists usually break this down into a few core abilities: interpretation, understanding what information actually means; analysis, breaking it apart; inference, drawing a sound conclusion from it; evaluation, judging how reliable that information is; and most importantly, self-regulation, which means monitoring your own thinking and correcting yourself when needed. That last one, self-regulation, is what separates an average thinker from a genuinely sharp one. Let's take a quick example. Imagine your friend tells you, "This business idea is solid. My cousin is doing something similar, and it's working really well for him." Now, two types of people react here. The first person thinks, "If it worked for the cousin, it'll work for me too," and jumps straight in with their money. The second person, the critical thinker, pauses and asks, "Does one person's success guarantee mine? Are the market conditions even the same? How many people failed at this same business that we're simply not hearing about?" That second person might seem slower, but over the long run, they consistently make better decisions. And that's exactly what we're building today. Why your brain deceives you. This is where things get really interesting, so pay close attention. Your brain is literally wired to save energy. Evolutionarily speaking, our ancestors didn't have time to deeply analyze every single situation. If a bush rustled nearby, they had to instantly decide, is that a predator or just the wind? and running was usually the safer bet. So our brains developed fast, automatic shortcuts. These are called cognitive biases and heuristics. Sometimes they help us, but in modern life, where decisions involve careers, money, relationships, these same shortcuts often steer us in the wrong direction. Let's look at some of the most common biases. Ones you're probably using every single day without even realizing it. Number 1. Confirmation bias. This is one of the most powerful biases out there. It means we naturally seek out information that supports what we already believe, and we tend to ignore or dismiss anything that contradicts it. For example, if you already believe a certain diet plan is the best one, you'll only read articles that praise it. Any research that contradicts it, you'll brush off as fake or unreliable. This bias is so strong that even social media algorithms are built around it. You're constantly shown content that matches what you already believe, which only reinforces that belief further. Number 2. Availability heuristic. This bias says, whatever comes to mind more easily feels more common or more important, even if that's not actually true in reality. For instance, after a plane crash makes headlines, people become afraid of flying, even though statistically, car accidents are far more common than plane crashes. But the image of a plane crash is more available in our memory, so we perceive it as riskier. Number 3. Anchoring bias. When making a decision, we tend to rely heavily on the very first piece of information we receive, even if it's completely irrelevant. Think about shopping. If a shirt originally shows a price of $60 and it's on sale for $25, you think, wow, what a deal. Even if the shirt's actual worth is just $25, that $60 number became an anchor in your mind. Number 4. Sunk cost fallacy. This bias tells us, I've already put so much time, money, or effort into this. How can I just quit now? A relationship that isn't working, a job that no longer makes you happy, a course that bores you. We keep going simply because we've already invested in it. Logically, past investment shouldn't influence a future decision, but emotionally, we just can't seem to let go. Number 5. Overconfidence bias. Study after study shows that people tend to overestimate their own abilities. For example, most drivers rate themselves as better than average, which is statistically impossible, since not everyone can be above average at the same time. Now here's something important to understand. These biases aren't a sign of being unintelligent. Every single brain has them. Whether you're a professor, a doctor, or a CEO. In fact, research shows that the smarter someone is, the more cleverly they can justify their own biases to themselves. So simply thinking, I'm too smart to fall for this, isn't enough. It takes active, deliberate effort to check your own thinking. So the question is, if our brains are prone to all these errors, how do we actually avoid them? That's exactly what we're covering next. Mental models, the secret weapon of smart thinkers. Some of the world's most successful people, investors, scientists, strategists, use a particular technique called mental models. So, what exactly is a mental model? In simple terms, it's a thinking tool, a lens through which you look at a problem to get a clearer, more accurate picture of it. Imagine you only owned one tool, a hammer. Every problem would start looking like a nail, and you'd try to solve everything by hammering it, even when what you actually needed was a screwdriver. That's the mistake people make when they only have one way of thinking. But when you have multiple mental models available, you can look at a situation from different angles and arrive at a much better solution. Let's go through a few powerful mental models this audiobook discusses. Model 1. First principles thinking. This means breaking a problem down to its most basic, fundamental truths and building your solution from there, instead of just following assumptions, because that's how it's always been done. For example, if you believe building an electric car is impossible because batteries are too expensive, that's an assumption you've likely picked up somewhere. First principles thinking asks, what raw materials make up a battery? What does that material actually cost? Once you break it down this way, you often realize the real cost isn't as high as people assume. It's the manufacturing process that's expensive. This kind of thinking is exactly what drives real innovation. Model 2. Inversion. This model says, sometimes, instead of solving a problem forward, it's far more useful to think about it backward. Instead of asking, how can I become successful? Ask, what could cause me to fail? And then actively avoid those things. Avoiding failure is often more practical than chasing success directly. Model 3. The map is not the territory. This means any theory, model, or belief is only a representation of reality, not reality itself. A map gives you an idea of a city, but it isn't the city. In the same way, our beliefs about the world are only approximations, not perfect truth. Remembering this helps us keep our opinions flexible instead of rigid. Model 4. Occam's razor. When you have multiple possible explanations for something, the simplest one is usually correct, unless there's strong evidence pointing toward a more complex explanation. For example, if your phone is running slow, the simplest explanation is storage is full or too many apps are running in the background, not a hacker is controlling my phone. Now, what's the real benefit of learning these mental models? The benefit is that whenever you face a tough decision, you can use these models like tools in a toolbox. Look at the problem through one lens, then another, and gradually you'll get a more complete, balanced picture. Remember, critical thinking isn't something you learn once and you're done. It's a muscle. You have to train it regularly. The more you apply these models to real situations, the more natural this kind of thinking becomes. A practical framework, step by step. So far, we've understood the problem and the tools available. Now let's talk about an actionable framework you can start using in your life, starting tomorrow. This framework has 5 steps. Let's go through them one at a time. Step 1. Pause before you react. Whenever a big decision comes up, emotional or professional, the very first step is to pause. Our first instinct is usually driven by emotion, not logic. Simply pausing for 10 to 15 seconds and taking a deep breath can dramatically improve how you respond. Step 2. Question your assumptions. Ask yourself, why do I believe this? Did this belief come from my own experience, or did someone else just tell me? Once you bring your assumptions to the surface, you can actually test them. Step 3. Seek out opposing views. This is the hardest step because our brain naturally avoids disagreement. But if you truly want to make the right decision, deliberately seek out opinions that go against your own. Ask, why would a smart, reasonable person disagree with me on this? Step 4. Evaluate the evidence, not the source. Often, we believe something simply because an authority figure said it, or because it appeals to us emotionally. Instead, ask, what evidence actually supports this claim? Is that evidence reliable? Step 5. Decide, then reflect. Once you've looked at the evidence, checked your assumptions, and heard opposing views, go ahead and make your decision. But don't stop there. Later on, reflect. Did my decision turn out to be right? What did I learn? This reflection is exactly what makes you a better decision maker over time. An easy way to remember this whole framework is through its first letters. Pause, question, seek, evaluate, decide, or PQSED. Whenever a big decision comes up, mentally walk through these 5 steps. Now let me give you a real-life scenario where this framework actually comes in handy. Imagine you've received a job offer. The salary is great, but the location is far from home, and the company culture seems a little unclear. Pause. Don't immediately say yes just because the salary looks good. Question assumptions. Am I assuming that a higher salary automatically means more happiness? Is that always actually true? Seek opposing views. Talk to a friend who can point out reasons to say no, not someone who'll just agree with everything you say. Evaluate evidence. Look at company reviews. Talk to current employees. Find out about the actual work-life balance. Don't just look at the numbers on the offer letter. Decide and reflect. After making your decision, set yourself a deadline, say 6 months later, to reflect on whether the decision was right, so you can make an even better choice next time. See? This framework applies to literally any decision. Career, relationships, investments, anything. Daily habits that strengthen critical thinking. So far, we've covered theory and a framework, but critical thinking isn't something you only pull out for big decisions. It should be a daily habit. Let's look at a few practical habits this audiobook recommends. Habit 1. Read diverse sources. If you always follow the same news channels and the same people who already agree with your worldview, you're only strengthening your confirmation bias. Deliberately read different perspectives, even ones you disagree with. Habit 2. Practice the devil's advocate exercise. Take a belief you feel extremely confident about and try building the strongest possible argument against it. This exercise is mentally challenging, but it sharpens your thinking dramatically over time. Habit 3. Journal your decisions. Whenever you make an important decision, write it down. What you decided, why you decided it, and what you expect to happen. Read it back a few months later. This shows you your own thinking patterns, where you were right and where you were biased. Habit 4. Slow down on social media. Social media is designed to trigger fast emotional reactions, not deep thinking. Whenever a post makes you instantly angry or excited, pause. Ask yourself, am I actually thinking right now, or am I just reacting? Habit 5. Surround yourself with thoughtful people. You naturally start thinking like the people you spend the most time with. Seek out people who have thoughtful conversations with you, not just surface-level small talk or gossip. One more small but powerful tip. Every night before you sleep, ask yourself, did I make any decision today that was driven by emotion rather than logic? This simple habit, practiced consistently, will dramatically improve your self-awareness over time. A word of caution, overthinking is a problem too. Now let's clear up something important that a lot of people miss. Critical thinking doesn't mean overanalyzing every tiny decision to the point where you can never actually decide anything. This is called analysis paralysis, when overthinking itself becomes the problem. Every decision has its own level of importance. If you're deciding what to have for lunch, you don't need 20 minutes of deep analysis. But if you're deciding whether to change your career, taking your time is absolutely worth it. This audiobook suggests a balance. Trust your intuition for small, everyday decisions, but use that PQSED framework we discussed for the big, life-changing ones. The goal of critical thinking isn't perfection. The goal is consistently better decisions over time. You don't need to be right 100% of the time. You just need to think a little better than you did yesterday. So, let's quickly recap everything we covered today. We learned that critical thinking really means questioning your own thoughts. We saw how our brains rely on shortcuts like confirmation bias, availability heuristic, anchoring, sunk cost fallacy, and overconfidence. Shortcuts that often lead us in the wrong direction. We explored powerful mental models. First principles thinking, inversion, the map is not the territory, and Occam's razor. The same tools smart people use to make better decisions. We walk through a practical framework. Pause, question, seek, evaluate, decide. Something you can apply to any major decision in your life. And finally, we covered daily habits that will strengthen your critical thinking over time. Remember, critical thinking isn't an overnight transformation. It's a practice, a habit you build a little bit every single day. The more you question your assumptions, and the more you slow down at the moments that matter most, the better your decisions will become over time. The next decision you make, big or small, pause for just a second and ask yourself, am I actually thinking right now, or am I just reacting? If you found this episode valuable, hit like, share it with someone who could use better decision-making skills, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because in upcoming episodes, we'll be diving into even more powerful mental models and real-life case studies. See you in the next audiobook summary. Until then, think it through before you decide. Thanks for watching.